Every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. She's an author, travel writer, and blogger, and of course, the founder of the Smart Travelista, none other than Miss Linda King.
Thank you, Daniel. How are you?
I'm fabulous, fabulous, Miss Linda. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Sure, yes. You've given me a great introduction, but yes, an author, travel writer, and blogger, also a travel coach, and founder of the Smart Travelista. So the aim with the Smart Travelista is to travel well, and in quality, but without, costing a lot of money. The more money we can save, the more travel we can do, and I think that's the aim for most travellers. So that's all about me.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Linda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And speaking of money, we need to talk about how to save money. Money savings, our main topic for today, Miss Linda. So, for many, being a saver feels at odds with their self image, like they are becoming cheap or missing out. How do you help someone reframe their identity from spender to an investor in the true future freedom and security?
Yes, look, saving money sometimes has a bad name. It means that you can't enjoy yourself. But if you do it the right way, you actually do enjoy yourself more. So it's just about having a different mindset. So if you spend your money now, it's gone, right? So you're getting the instant gratification. If you delay the spending and save your money, you're still going to get that enjoyment, but it's just going to be a bit of a delay in that. And also with saving money, which most people might know about, compounding is always a good thing. So the more you save money and add a bit to it, grows and grows and grows. The more money you have, really, the more freedom you have. So it's just about, if you do want to save money and you are a spender, you just have to change that mindset and go, okay, instead of getting things instantly, I just need to delay my enjoyment of that money or that spending of that money. So, yeah, it's you really have to focus. You can't be half in and half out. You're either going to be a spender or you're going to be a saver. Um, and I think the best balance is to try to do a little bit of both. But especially with traveling, Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
traveling can be quite expensive. So the saving of the money starts before you even take off. So it's about how you can find those bargains while still traveling in quality. And then it's also about the spending that you do while you're away. So my big tip about around that is about the research you do beforehand. That research might take a bit of time, but that's actually going to save you a lot of money in the long run.
Definitely save money while you are traveling. So let's talk about the scarcity versus abundance trap, Miss Linda. When money feels tight, the brain goes into scarcity mode, often leading to impulsive treat yourself spending. What is the simple critical mindset or ritual break that cycle and make conscious saving choice in the moment?
Yeah, you know what? It's all about knowing that you're worth something. Okay. So if you, and all your, about your self esteem. So you have to place value on yourself and your self esteem. I find a lot of the money issues people have are more deep rooted than just actually the money and what they do with it. So it's just about really working on your mindset, knowing that you're enough, that you've got value. If you place value on yourself, then you're going to place value on other things. So it's not money is sort of just something that comes from the self-esteem. So if you have a scarcity mindset, then what you're going to do is you're going to grab that money and treat it differently. So to not have that mindset, it's about going, you know what, I'm going to invest that money, I'm going to save that money. It's got value, just like myself. And the more money you save, the more money you're going to have. So you're going to go from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, and it snowballs. Once you transfer yourself into that mindset, you don't even worry about that money that's being saved, and then it just grows. So whatever you focus yourself on is going to get larger. So if you don't place value on yourself, you feel that you've got no money, then that's a self, uh, a prophecy that's going to come forward. So whatever you put your mind to is what's going to happen in your life. So it's better to be positive and go, you know what, I'm going to put this money away. We're
Mm.
going to put it on the side there and grow it instead of spending every cent that you've got. Because once you spend every cent you've got, then you are going to have problems because there is no money when those bills come in or when those emergencies happen. So it's just about having a goal and going, you know what, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I need to change my mindset. I need to change the way that I've been doing things because, it might not be working.
Very well said, Miss Linda. Very well said. Let's talk about the pain and versus pleasure. Our brains are wired to prioritize immediate pleasure or buying or
Mm.
something like stuff like that over delayed gratification or saving. How can we hack this, making the act of saving itself feel more rewarding or tangible and pleasurable?
Yeah, it's about having small. Um, so you might have money that you get paid every week. Instead of blowing the whole lot, get a smaller amount of it. You're still going to get that pleasure from going out shopping, but you're just doing it on a smaller scale. So yes, we're wired for that. We want to avoid pain and we want pleasure all the time. That's how we're wired. So it's just how you go. You know what? I've got a goal. I'm saving. So say you're saving for an overseas trip, but you know what? You might like to read or you might like music or whatever it is that you like. Spending that small amount is still going to give you that pleasure, but your longer term goal is going to be still on track. So it's just about how you can find ways to do things cheaper that are still going to give you pleasure. So, for instance, you might like Netflix and you
Mm-hmm.
might not be able to afford the Netflix subscription. So, a thing that you could do is go on YouTube and go, you know what? I've got a free subscription on YouTube. Let me see what I can find on there that's still going to give me that enjoyment, give me that entertainment, but at a lower cost. So it's not about saving and having a boring, uneventful life. We still want to live, we still want to have enjoyment, but we're just going to find cheap ways of doing that, so we can still get what we need as a human being, but then also have our longer term goal, you know, set up and still on track. So there is ways of doing that. There's so many cheap and free ways of getting entertainment. We just got to find it. We've got to find those things and do them.
Definitely do them with your ease time, people, and save money, 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 and do the money, money mindset come to me for sure. So, the pay yourself first blueprint. This is a golden rule, but it often fails. Beyond just setting up, transfer, what is the specific behavioral sequence for a beginner?
Yeah, so pay yourself is so important. So what they say is that you should prioritize your saving. It doesn't matter how much that is. It could be $5 a day, it could be $50 a week, whatever it is, you need to make sure that you're allocating that money first up, even before you pay the bills that you've got owing. What it does, it's growing that compounding. As I said, you've got money that may be invested, you're compounding it by putting that money. So whatever that amount is, it needs to mandatory come out of your bank account or out of your wages. And then what you do is you then schedule whatever bills you've got. So, sometimes you might have a really bad week where you've got a lot of bills. what you need to do, if you don't pay yourself that week, you need to put in double the week after. So you still need to make sure that you're meeting those weekly, fortnightly, monthly payments. And what it is just doing, it's a passive thing. So you get your bank account transfer automatic, so you don't even have to do it. It's nothing that you need to do. Set it up every, fortnight, week, month, and get it to come out of your money. And then that way you're not seeing it. The thing with money, Daniel, when we
Mhm.
spend money, we don't think about it. So it's not, we don't recognize it. So we've got money, we spend it. If someone asked you, what did you spend your money on? Our mind gets rid of what we've just spent. And so it just goes out of the mind. Um, and so just about, it's the same with the transfer that money in, pay yourself first. You're not even gonna, it's not even gonna register in your mind, but you know in the background that it's happening. And then whatever's left over gets allocated to bills, to, cost of living, eating, whatever it may be. It's just a really good way of not having, it's a good way of getting the stress out of money management, put it that way. It's something that you can do for yourself. And again, it's talking about your self-esteem, the value that you're placing on yourself. You need to feel good about yourself and go, you know what, I'm worth that $50 that I'm putting into my savings. That's a non-negotiable. I'm going to do that every week. I'm going to make it easy for myself with it, like a direct deposit or any, whatever way you want to do it. And then it's taken care of. So it's connected to the self-esteem and what value we're placing on ourselves.
Very well said, Miss Linda. And friction is your friend. We optimize for easy spending, like one click buy. How do we redesign our financial environment to create a frictional for spending and ease for saving?
Yeah, online shopping can be very easy, but it can also be very dangerous,
Yes.
because it is one click, and usually they got our credit card details. What I would say, this is one thing that I always do. You can get quite emotional sometimes. Life can be stressful and it can be hard at times. My advice was never press that one click button when you're feeling in an emotional state, because you are going to spend more money. Um, Again, just try and think about it before you do it, because if you're in an emotional state and things have gone wrong, then you're going to overspend with that one click. Just really think it through before you do it. So if you're having a bad day, my advice would be to go out and do a bit of exercise, go for a walk, put a bit of distance between you and the computer, with the online shopping. If you come back from that walk and you still want to buy that thing, go for it. Go buy it. But always think about it before you do it, because you can press a lot of clicks and then that can put your credit card in a lot of debt, and then you've got to pay that. And then that's just going to affect your finances. So, you know, we're emotional human beings, right? When we're emotional, we tend to do things to make us feel better. You were talking about pleasure and pain. If we're in pain, we want to go to pleasure. We that one click on that website is so easy. Yep, I want that. Sometimes we don't think it through though. But my advice, and I take this as my own advice, I do not do anything like that when I'm feeling a bit emotional. I give it a bit of distance. And if I, in a few hours, want to get that thing and I'm thinking straight, then yes, I'll do it. But, if you're trying to save, if you do online shopping, it's really going to affect your finances. It might not affect it immediately, but then when you get that bill in, you're going to be like, okay, I've got all these other bills and then I've got this massive credit card debt. What am I going to do? So it's just, it all, as I said, it comes down to the mindset. What is your goal? What is it that you want to do? Talk to other people. It's good also to have like a person that's your coach or a buddy. Get a buddy that wants to also do this as well. That way, you're going to keep you both keep you both on track. When you're having a bad time, you can rely on that buddy, and when they're having a bad time, you can be their support. So it's just about maybe doing the same thing. If someone you find is wanting to do the same thing as you, keep yourself both on track by doing it together.
Hmm. By doing it together, for sure. Impulsive uh, decisions sometimes make
Mm.
you in trouble. Cash flow clarity, Miss Linda. Before you can save, you need to know where money goes. For someone overwhelmed by budgeting, what is the gentlest, most informative first step of tracking the won't feel like shame spiral?
Yeah, this is a really good question, Daniel. I'm glad you asked it. You've really got to understand what you're spending your money on. As I said before, when we buy, it sort of goes out of our brain. We don't want to know about it and we go on to the next purchase. One way, if you want to get serious about your cash flow, I would suggest you get a notebook or some sort of app and you need to track every single cent, every single dollar that you spend. I would do that for a month and you're going to be really surprised on what you're spending. Things that you take for granted or are just common automatic spending, it will be really, really revealing about how you're spending your money in that month. Then what you need to do is you need to look at that note and go, okay, what are my necessities and what are the things that I'm just wasting money on? You will have a track of what you're spending a day to day. So what you need to do is put your spending, and you also need to put your bills as you're paying them. And it will be so revealing. I did this years ago and I was shocked on what I was spending my money on. And then I was like, okay, it's a really good exercise because you go, okay, I don't need these things. What am I spending these on every day? It's a way of eliminating things out of your budget, and it's actually cost savings. So by doing that, by making it a conscious thing, and we're consciously tracking it, as frightening or as revealing as it is the best way to get your handle on what you're spending your money on, and it absolutely will steer you in the right direction. So say for instance you're buying a coffee for, you're buying 2 coffees a day for $10. You add that over a year, that's quite a bit of money, or even over a month. Can you bring your recyclable cup with you and use the facilities at work? That's free. You don't need to go out and buy those coffees, right? So just simple things like that. You might be, getting newspapers or, whatever it may be. We all have likes. All have things that we spend a lot of money on, but we don't consciously realize we're doing it. So it's a really good way of tracking it, revealing what we're spending, and then addressing that spending. Do we need it? Question ourselves. Do we need that thing that we've bought on a day-to-day basis? No, we don't. Get rid of it. Already you're doing your budget a massive favor, and it's and you're being really mindful about what you're spending as well.
Miss Linda, as an author, travel writer, blogger, and founder, what are your short term and long term goals?
What are my short and long term goals? Well, short term, I've got some more books coming out, and also going to being a featured author at a book fair in Australia. Long term and always short term, I've got more travel coming up in the next few months, and then just doing projects, going on podcasts like your fabulous one, Daniel, and just really talking to people and helping people save money. So, um, everyone, please reach out if you've got travel questions, and especially about money saving. Absolutely happy to help and answer any of your questions.
Yes, good luck to your goals, Miss Linda, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to save money when they travel?
Do your research. Get really into your research, and you will have a cheaper trip if you can do the research and find resources that are going to help you save money. So it's all about the preparation you do before you travel. It's also how you act when you travel as well, but you've got to set yourself up nicely before you leave to then keep that that money saving going. And at the end of the day, Daniel and the listeners, the more money you can save, the more travel you can do. So if you're a traveler and you want to do more travel, you really need to get into that money saving because, we don't have endless supplies of money. We've only got an
Mm-hmm.
allocation of money in our budget, but we want to be savvy about how we save that money and conserve it so we can do the things that we enjoy.
Certainly. You should have the mindset, money come to me always, people. Thank you for that inspiring advice, Miss Linda. So tell us, what is your book Antics is all about?
Oh, antics from abroad. People will love these. I've travelled a lot in my life, and things have or some of the things have not gone right. So my
Mm-hmm.
antics from abroad are stories about things where things have gone terribly wrong. I'm obviously still alive because you're talking to me at the moment. But it's just, situations I've found myself. So we can plan and plan and plan our trips, but sometimes things do go wrong. So Antics from Abroad is a really entertaining book series that talks about situations I've found myself in, which were a bit crazy and a bit stressful and a bit frightening at the time. And also about the people I've met. I've met a lot of people in my travels and they've told me their stories. So their stories are also in those books, but they're true depictions of what's happened, but with obviously a happy ending. But yeah, if you love entertaining travel stories where it's full of melodrama, antics, and mishaps, then this would be the book series for you.
Definitely book series indeed. So before we wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Linda, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in third season, and my book 101 review in sixth season as well. Jock Comedy 101 in its third season, and Food 101 in sixth season two. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101 review, Music 101 in its fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101 fourth season, Spiritual Awakening, Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Linda, if you could get everyone to internalize one core belief about the purpose of saving money, what would it be?
Place value on yourself, because if you place value on yourself, abundance will come. That's the root of all our issues when it comes to money. Not believing that we're worth it. You've got to believe you're worth it because all good things will come from that.
Yes, you should always have affirmation. Abundance will come to me in many ways of life. People, that's a good mantra or mindset. So, Miss Linda, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your books, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want any of the books that I have written, you go to Amazon, as Daniel's quite nicely put on the screen there. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on most social media, the Smart Travelista. You can also come and visit me on my website, thesmarttravelista.com with 2 T's. We'd love to have a chat. Come and join my community. We have so much fun. We travel the world and we interact. So I would really strongly suggest if you're into travel and you want to learn more about saving money and also having a fun time, come and visit my community.
Yes, people, what's about Miss Linda King? Because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy like this to rise. So, Miss Linda, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. It's been a pleasure.
Marika people, see you soon. Likewise, Miss Linda, likewise.